show. Here we Play your music. Okay.
All right, you ready?
I think we're live. Maybe. I hear the show in the background though.
Oh yeah, we're live. I hear it on the other screen.
Happy Friday.
Hey, what's up?
The music is still playing in my headphones though. I think we're live.
Oh yeah, because you have the show playing on the other tab.
On the other tab, I do?
Yeah, on the watch screen, you have it playing still.
I hear the
It's not playing on my ears.
I hear the show in the background. That's weird.
Okay. Can you hear me talking now in your headphones?
I've got to kill that other screen somehow.
Happy Friday.
I'm gonna have an echo, like a delayed echo for the rest of the show. Otherwise,
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you have the.
it's still. I don't even see where it is. On the
Okay.
other tab, I do.
Yeah, you're running Chrome. You have it. Are you running Opera?
Nope.
It's not playing on my ears.
Hi everybody, welcome to my nightmare again.
Can you hear me talking?
Listen,
Listen
I
a
hope
couple
I
times.
gotta kill that other screen somehow.
Let's try that.
I'm gonna
Echo.
have an echo, like a delayed echo for the rest of the
The
show.
delayed echo.
Oh,
There's
it's so
Minnow out
weird.
there. Daytime Frank,
Still,
that
I
crazy
don't even
cab
see what it is.
driver.
What's up? We're working on it.
Frank's out there. Alan Gorby.
There you go, you do that.
JSB.
Hi everybody,
Panda's
welcome
out
to
there.
my
It's me,
nightmare
dude.
again.
Andrew Eaton here. I got something for Andrew Eaton.
Why is this
Popcorn?
kill that other screen somehow?
Oh, popcorn flavor. Let's try that.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Oh, I think I found
I'm
it.
a bear.
Oh. Hey,
Great one, Batsky.
Oh,
Daytime
man.
Frank.
I'm out there.
Getting a shirt that says "I'm DTF."
Bull's out there. Whom I hope I'm not missing anybody here. I'm paging up. Mr. B.
Mr. E.
Brian's out there.
Addy
That's
is
Rolo
muted.
Rolo.
So all this time you've been shouting all these people, and you're muted.
I have. Was I?
You were?
Gizzard
Not
still
on, your,
muted me?
not on your screen, but now it's fixed. Now it's all fixed.
Oh my
It's all
God.
good. GMAT says it's good. Now I'm muted. I'm not muted.
Anyway, I love you guys. Happy Friday. I just shouted everybody out.
We might be muted maybe because of, like, I don't know.
I don't know. Send me a chat link.
I got you. I got you.
I killed chat because I thought maybe that would kill the noise in my head, but it didn't.
There you go, Gizzard.
When you hear this, type X1. Mimbo's a lion.
Not a bear, a lion.
Let's see how the delay is. I'm hoping
There
over
we
here that somebody heard that and they start doing X1s.
Man.
I'm not seeing any X1. Oh, there's the first X1. So we got like almost a good 45-second delay.
Good.
It's a good baseline to have.
That's awesome. All right. Is this thing on? Hello? Hello?
It is. It is.
All right.
It's
That's
probably
good.
loud as fuck for headphone people.
Probably. Man. Why, YouTube? Why?
Holy cow, who
There she
came in
is.
here? We'll let
Hola.
anybody in here. Hi, JBC.
We just got the kinks worked out of the show. You're just in time.
Now she's getting all set up.
Yeah. At some point we'll get this thing rolling here. Fresh, you might as well come in too, as long as you're
Rolling.
if you're ready. If you feel like it when you're done feeding the cat.
What if I'm not ready, Gizzard Stew?
Well, then bail.
Bail, dude.
Look who's here. Jennifer Berger Coleman is here. Hello.
Hi, guys.
I was going sideways. I was kind of digging it.
Is that better?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
You sound good. You look good.
Hi, Toonie.
All right.
What's shaking? How's your Friday going?
Work. I mean, it's fine, but work.
Work,
Any
work,
blood
work.
on
It's
you
Friday.
tonight?
Yeah, no blood on me today. Not yet. My day's not over.
I hope I don't jinx you.
Yeah.
All
me too.
right.
Yeti didn't get an invite. He's been shunned.
So everybody, welcome to the Fog Life. Welcome Jim Berger Coleman, Addie Tooney, Fresh, LIFA.
Hey.
Fresh was feeding the kitty, Jen.
Happy Friday to all of our viewers out there, including you, Yeti.
Oh, you know, Gizzard, straight to hell.
Straight to hell.
We got Deadpool.
I wanted to keep the panel smaller tonight, but I think the person that really should have been not here was probably me. Things might have run smoother.
It's always interesting, Gizzard Stew. There'll always be that.
Man, always having
Freshy D.
this trauma.
Well, you know, if it's not going live, it's some sound or it's too many threads on the computer.
Angry kitty.
Eventually, I just like to get it all to where I just, okay, I've got this. It's going to work.
Let's do it.
Not yet. So, Jen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, not bad. A little rough start.
Yeah. It's about to be a 3-day weekend, so I'm excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't beat that.
Yeah.
No.
I'm looking for his picture that always makes me smile, Jen. I gotta show it to you.
Okay.
We got a blizzard here today, so that was a thing.
Well,
It
congrats.
was 60 this morning, and it's 18 now.
Mm-hmm. We got
It's
about
like 55 here, and I'm freezing my ass off.
it's about 12 below here.
It was like 42 degrees this morning, and it's about 43 now. That was about the high, about 43.
What do I got here? I got. Yeah, we got 5 degrees.
5 in Iowa.
Kind of a heat wave down here, Gizzard. You should have came and visited.
Yeah, well, you're south. You know, you're closer to Florida.
Yeah.
Warming your hands off of the Florida coast there.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
There it is.
I love that picture.
that is a good picture, Addie Tooney.
Hang on. Wait, show it to me again.
Show it.
Aww. I like that picture too.
The only thing that could have made it better is
People asked me if I was his mom.
Oh,
I was like, oh, ouch.
ouch.
to say the only thing that could have made that picture better is if you were gently stroking those massive sideburns of his.
Yes. They're beautiful.
Poor Fresh was this close to making it there that night.
Aww.
Not the California one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
This one was in Carson City, Nevada. It was the closest to me.
yeah, Carson City. So yeah, it would have been Federal Way here, but I got stuck at work.
Yes.
So what's going on? What's new?
Who?
With who?
Anybody?
Oh.
Not much. Just shoveling snow.
Yeah.
2-day weekend.
You try this
Where
yet,
the
Jen?
kids doing?
The dinner
What is
lady.
that?
blackberry crumble.
Mm.
Yummy.
Got like some blackberry.
Yes, Hash, I did hit live stream.
Can't you see it, Hitch?
Jen, 2 weeks ago I did an entire hour show and we weren't live.
That's amazing.
It was probably one of the best Pog Lights ever.
It
Lots
was.
of
It was
great
incredible.
jokes. We were bouncing off each other. 45 minutes into the show, we actually found out that it's not live.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it was hilarious.
So Gizzard Stu trolls so many people, he thought the people were trolling him, saying, "When are you going to start live?" You know.
Right, I thought they were just giving me crap or teasing me. Oh man! And then the rocky start to this one.
Hey,
You got to work the kinks out.
it's a learning curve. We're
So
only 28 shows in, so you know.
I got a squonk pin in my twisted messes too.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, Kent just started selling them. Pretty cool.
That's
Got one of
cool.
my favorite Addies now in squonk mode.
Nice.
I have my little tiny me one because I'm at work.
I see you vaping at work, bad girl.
Yep.
The MyPod? Is that the MyPod?
Yep.
Me one.
Little tiny one.
Yeah, it's the
The
me.
My one? Yeah, the My one's. That's one of my favorite mods that came out last year. Easily.
I love it with that high nick throat hit
with
stuff.
Yeah, with the Nick salts.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just using straight up 24 milligram nick in this thing right now.
Oh, the Nick salts, it hits even faster. It's like one rip and you're like, whoa, okay, let's let's reevaluate life choices for a second. Okay, now I'm back.
Well, might need one more stitch in there. I don't know.
Gizzard, stop worrying. They can see us. They said JD 8,000 times in the chat. They definitely know that Jennifer Berger Coleman's on the show, so they're seeing us.
All right,
Don't
good.
let them,
You're live.
guys.
Roro says she's still waiting for an invite, Gizzards too.
Soon.
Soon.
I
All
was trying
right.
to keep the panel a little bit smaller because we have some special guests tonight. So I was wondering, Jen, what you think of this Kellyanne Conway. Or no, her name isn't Kellyanne Conway, but her name is Kellyanne from the Tiffany Casting Company.
I think the same of both Kellyanne's. Yeah, so, well, I don't know specifically about her. You know, I'm sure she was told to do a job and that's what she's doing.
Right.
You know, the tobacco-free California, I could go on. I could take up your whole show with what I think of them. So
Well,
yeah,
I suppose we should preface this for the people that are watching, because some people may not know what we're talking about whatsoever. But an anti-tobacco commercial for the California Board of Health. They put out an open casting call, and they were looking for groups of 13-year-old friends, boys and girls, 13-year-olds, to be in a vaping commercial, supposedly, doing tricks and whatnot. And they were also looking for, I don't know, real blue-collar workers, 25 to 32 years of age, and real TSA employees, 25 to 32 years of age. And so they put this casting call out. They're going to be making some sort of a commercial. And the premise is that it's going to be an anti-vaping commercial because they're hiring on behalf of the California Tobacco Control Program.
That would be your tax dollars at work, Jen Berger Coleman.
Right.
Yes, it would.
So
Okay, so here's my first opinion on this. So it's the same people that say it's all about the kids, but we're recruiting kids to come on, and we're going to force them to smoke or vape on camera.
Mhm.
And they won't get paid if they don't do it.
Yeah, we're not entirely sure. What we think is that they're so.
Well,
Ideally,
the other thing that I've seen is that they weren't even worried if these were union workers, union actors, or non-union actors. I'm like, there's another thing that should be protested in California big time anyways, these non-union workers coming in to work a commercial.
Jobs.
That should get the actors union involved too, but you know, I don't think it's going to get blown up large enough on a scale for anybody to react enough in a short period of time that they're trying to do this.
Yeah, I don't know. Stefan and I actually have been messaging all day back and forth about this, about some of our theories and what's legal and what's not. And, you know, I mean, the fact of the matter is neither one of us is an entertainment lawyer. So I have a coworker whose husband used to be an entertainment lawyer, and he worked for ABC. And she called him and was kind of asking him these questions, you know, can a parent consent for a 13 or 14-year-old to do something illegal for the purpose of a commercial? And of course the answer is no, you know, because I was like, you know, they portray minors, you know, having sex and drinking alcohol and things like that, but it's obviously all simulated. They're not really drinking alcohol. They're not really having sex when they're, you know, so, and he said, well, I don't know, can they simulate vaping? And I was like, I mean, I guess with PG and VG, which is vaping, like, you know, so he said he wasn't really familiar with the vaping laws, because it does specifically say that they want him to vape zero nicotine, which in California isn't being regulated as a tobacco product. However, the devices that they're vaping out of are regulated as a tobacco product. So he was like, I don't even know, you know, he's more clear on the entertainment stuff, but he's not clear on the vaping laws. So he didn't know, you know. And then second, what Stefan and I were kind of throwing back and forth was, they specifically say, you know, are you okay with your kid being around either secondhand smoke or secondhand vapor? So either they're saying that they're willing to exploit something dangerous, you know, exploit the kids in a dangerous situation, or they're saying that they know it's not dangerous, you know, one or the other. You can't have it both ways. Either they're saying they're willing to put kids in a dangerous situation for these stupid commercials, or they know it's not dangerous, which we know. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Those commercials, if, you know, you don't live in California, but during the elections, they were playing those still blowing smoke commercials, and they're infuriating. Everyone I know that's a vapor, like, wants to throw the TV across the room. I've come close.
Do Elvis impersonation.
Yeah.
Pull a bullet right in it. Oh.
They're really infuriating. The one that they like to play the last election term was, you know, obviously a teenage boy that was in his room, and he was vaping, and then all of a sudden he puts it down and he picks up a cigarette, you know, and the implication, of course, was that it led him to smoke cigarettes. And
holy crap.
Yeah, they're really bad.
And they don't even realize they're getting people killed from, you know, taken away from people trying vaping, you know?
Yeah.
They don't even get it.
Yeah, so, you know, I watched a little bit of Grim Green's blog yesterday, and that's exactly what he said was, we're not the ones exploiting the kids, like vaping. They are. They're the ones paying people $500 a pop or whatever it is to come and be in their commercials. And, you know, who's not to say you have all kinds of people in LA that are willing to do anything to get on the map and be famous and whatnot. Who's not to say that some parent doesn't see this ad and, you know, their kids never vaped or smoked before, and they're like, here, little Timmy, here's a vape. Let's go make $500 in this commercial, you know?
Yep.
I need you to practice your O's, Timmy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's bad. I don't know. I don't know how we can make it, you know, as public as it should be. I mean, because the people who don't vape, which we know is the majority of the population, see these commercials and they're like, oh, the children. I mean, that's always where they get everyone, the children. And, you know, it'd be nice to have everyone know what's actually going in behind these commercials. And then we actually oppose it. We don't want the kids on set vaping.
So are there any plans, have you guys planned any kind of protest at the casting calls or anything like that?
Well, I know they were saying, I know that Stefan was kind of calling on people maybe who live in Southern California. I know some people that said they'd be up for it. Here's the other issue, though. I don't think that there will be a union protest. And that was another thing that my coworker's husband said, was that, you know, and it didn't really occur to me until I thought about it, that these commercials, the kids are never talking in them. They're like riding their bike along, you know, on their way to school vaping, but they don't talk. It's either a voiceover of someone else or it's a text script, in which case you don't have to hire union actors for that. If they're just extras and or they don't have speaking parts, it's very common for them to hire non-union actors. So
there's a loophole for that, probably.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, 13-year-olds, those are like very young children still.
Yeah.
So obviously they're trying to portray, you know, that they're doing it for a shock factor of look how young these kids are that are vaping. So I don't know.
And they're gonna, you know, the voiceover or the text is always, you know, that this kid walked into a vape shop. But I saw one that said this kid walked into a vape shop and bought his vape for $5, and I'm like, really? Where did he buy a vape for $5?
Yeah, which vape shop is this? Hold on.
Yeah, can you put that name of that shop there? So, you know, and that he started on, you know, because it was a flavor called unicorn piss or whatever, you know, whatever it is that they use for the shock value. So
Candy King.
Yeah.
Gummy
So
bear.
we'll see.
They like
Gummy
gummy
bears.
bears.
Yeah.
There's no adult likes gummy bears.
No, or cereal or we should all be vaping Brussels sprout flavor, apparently.
No,
I like
I've got some chili that would turn off the 13-year-olds, I think.
Nice.
chili con carne.
Oh, it was meaty gizzards too.
A lot of cheese, heavy on the cheese, Gizzard.
Heavy on the cheese. Oh, that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious because even at a federal level, aren't we regulating e-liquid as a tobacco product at 0 milligram? That's something that kind of boggles me. Like they've made it pretty clear that it doesn't matter what level of nicotine it is. It's going to be considered a nicotine product or it's going to be considered a tobacco product by the federal government. So
exactly. Right. And the thing is this organization is not going to care about the ramifications, and they're going to do the whole, we're going to do it. I know there's going to be stuff that people are going to say after we do it, but still it got out there. And once it's out there, you know, we've seen videos with inside the vape community that just keep getting repeated and recorded and re-released. It'll be out there for a long, long time, even though there may be court cases or they're forced to take down their copy. Other people start popping up their own copies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I knew more. Certainly there's got to be some attorneys that know a little more about, so the thing about, that you have to be okay with, or your kid has to be okay with being around secondhand smoke and whatnot. I know in a roundabout way, there are laws that say that you can't sign away your rights. You know what I mean? Like you can't go into the doctor and they say like, oh, if I botch your surgery, you can't sue me and sign this. Like that's not enforceable. If someone puts you in harm, they can't enforce you signing away your rights. And so if they're really saying that this is so dangerous, but you have to be okay with your little kid being around vapor products or vaping vapor products, like that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, secondhand smoke. That's like a child health and welfare issue right there. Child services.
Right. So
is there any way we could call them and have them waiting at the casting call?
Like CPS.
CPS just sitting there like, are you sure you want to send your kid in there?
Yeah. Well, that's an idea. Maybe if we all called CPS in Los Angeles.
I'm sure the CPS in Los Angeles would be like, you want us to do what now? I know that's not happening.
Yeah, they're like, do you know what goes on in Los Angeles?
Yeah. A kid walking into a place that has secondhand smoke, least of my worries today. Thank you. Have a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
It's kind of one of those, it seems like a losing situation because no matter what angle, like people tried to go after it, I just don't see it being a big enough thing that anybody in any position of authority would react to it at all. Like,
what about Rob Johnson?
Ron Johnson from Wisconsin. We should talk to him. Okay, Ron Johnson, we got you elected. You're in Wisconsin, but
go after these people in California.
Go after them. I mean, we could talk to Duncan Hunter, see what Duncan Hunter has to say.
That's true.
Although I don't think Duncan Hunter would get involved with a casting call either.
Probably not.
Well, you guys are talking about the legal ramifications of whether what they're doing is legally okay, but just morally, it seems to be morally wrong.
Right.
They have no morals.
I mean, that's
I think
just
that's
awful.
Probably our best bet is to, as much as we can, get the word out there. I mean, I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference, but if we could, just get the word out there, as many people that see it, that what they're doing. Yeah. I mean, from a legal standpoint, I don't know that we have the time nor the lawyers, nor the money to do anything about it legally. However, exactly from a moral standpoint, right. From, like, look who's really exploiting the kids. It's right. Not us.
They're probably going to get their commercial made, and they're probably going to get their commercial aired. And it's going to create images in people's minds that, that are unaware of, they only see what they see. And so then they will have met their objective.
And then the other thing you have to think about is even if we drum up negative press on this, like, people are going to say, oh, there's that commercial that the vaping industry doesn't want us to see. And even if it doesn't air, it's going to get leaked onto YouTube. And, it's one of the, this situation is just one of those ones. I don't think there's any way to win except for take the higher road and just be like, hey, this is the truth. Teen smoking rates are way down. Teen vaping rates are not what they're saying they are. If you're worried about your kid, pay attention to your fucking kid rather than relying on the TV to watch them. It's right.
Yep.
That's kind of I think that's kind of going to be the situation. Certainly people showing up and protesting it. That's a wonderful idea, but raising a bit stink about this, it's just not. I don't think it'll wind up well for vaping no matter what, just because it's the state of California paying for the commercial. So if they feel like airing it, they'll find a way for it to get out there.
Right.
So
I'm sure.
to be Debbie Downer, but to be the Debbie Downer of the crew.
But Jerry Brown's a piece of poop, so that's just how it is.
He's almost down. His term's almost up.
I'm just thinking with the specifications of what they're wanting out of TSA people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm wondering if they're trying to say, oh, do these people take these on planes? And then they're going to compare them to a Samsung Galaxy 7 blowing up in planes. What about these batteries? These could blow up on the same planes that you're taking. There's another angle that they could take.
Well, we're
with the TSA people.
Or they're going to call us terrorists or something.
I mean, you're taking a stretch there, but on the other hand, why would the casting call include TSA employees? I mean,
Exactly.
Because they're going to say I can already see it. They're going to have them come on and they're going to tell quote unquote true stories about how the mods blew up in the airport and how they set stuff on fire, all sorts of stuff like that. And they'll say, you know, down at the bottom of the commercial, it'll say actual TSA person, but it won't say that this is actually read from a script. It's not something that's actually ever happened. So
right, that's why they need an actual TSA
that's why they need actual
employee.
TSA people.
Right.
And they're not going to grab the people that I run into at the TSA where they're like complimenting me on my mech mods that I'm putting through the machine, where they go, "Oh, that's a nice setup. We have to use just these little ones," and they pull a pen out of their pocket.
Exactly. The guy with the vape pen who like pulls it out of his pocket and flashes it to you like.
Yep.
Giz, you know what? I gotta go.
Okay. Well, we're glad that you came by to bless us with your presence.
I'm always happy to see you guys. I
Do
love
some good stitches, Jen. Do them
Yes.
good.
Hopefully no blood.
There we go.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
Have a good one, Jen.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
What an awesome lady.
We love Jen.
Yeah.
Jen is
Take
pretty
her
incredible.
time out of her day.
Hell yeah.
She's back.
Oh, now
She's gone.
she's gone.
You may need to boot her, Gizzard Stu. Nope, she figured it out.
She's good.
For those that aren't aware of who that wonderful lady is, that was Jen Berger Coleman. She's one of the board members of CUSA. Good friend of all of our shows and great friend to the vaping industry as a whole, and one of the most amazing people that we know. I'm saying that for all of us. I'm pretty sure everyone would agree that she's one of the most amazing people that we know. So
She supports all of us, and we support her with whatever she's doing. So
exactly.
it's a nice little circle between her and anybody that's trying to help us out.
Exactly. So for those that were tuning in and weren't aware of who that wonderful lady is,
Oh, yeah.
Dimwit.
So in other news, a subject that I don't know a whole lot about, but I thought we could discuss as well, was the news that came out of, was it Missouri, that they have separated smoking from vaping in their state. Do you know about that, Fresh?
Yeah.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Yes, they're passing state laws. In theory, passing state laws that are going to separate vaping from smoking.
Yep.
And so Missouri, that's kind of surprising because Missouri has not been all that vape friendly. They've not been all that vape friendly. They are a very tobacco friendly state, but they haven't been all that vape friendly. So I'm a little dubious as to why they're doing it. My thought is that they're going to separate it out and then tax the ever loving bejesus out of it.
Separate from cigarettes so that they can crush
they can
it
keep
through
the cigarette
taxation.
Yeah, so they can keep the cigarette prices lower and keep and up the vaping prices. That's my guess as to why they're doing it. Just because, like I said, they've been a tobacco-friendly state rather than a vape-friendly state. They haven't. I mean, every year there's always a pretty good-sized tax on the ballot for vaping that never makes it through because it's attached to something else. When they separate them out, then they can just be like that. Yep. This is, we can tax vaping directly. So it's one of those things. It's a good thing that someone's taking that some states making the action, but I'm a little dubious as to what the consequences of that action is going to be. So that's my two cents from what I've.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah, so that's the
tax it.
Everything. Yeah, it's one of those things, you know, you poke around message boards, you read kind of the subtext that's behind the law, and it starts to all make sense as to what they're really up to.
Right.
Now, I believe they have a pretty good vaping advocacy group that represents them there, I believe, because they've never been able to get a vape tax through, which is quite good. So I'm hopeful that the advocacy group will allow this portion of it to go through and get it separated, and then just protest the ever loving shit out of any tax or anything else that comes up. But it's just going to open the door for vaping to be in constant danger of any time any state funded programs running low on cash.
Yeah, so it seems like every time we get like that scene, when I read that, I'm like, oh my God, that's a huge win. That could set precedents, you know. And then you go, oh, what are they really up to? You know, it makes you wonder. Unfortunately, we have to have our tinfoil hats on and do our due diligence as to when have they ever tried to do anything good for us. Kind of makes you question.
Yeah, and on one aspect, I don't mind taxation on it as long as it's reasonable and we know where that money's going to. Like Iowa could put a freaking tax on vaping products of, let's say, a certain percentage, and I would be fine with it as long as it means that we're keeping all the devices, all the liquids available for people to use and to get off of cigarettes. That would be great. It's kind of like Colorado legalizing marijuana. All of that tax money is going to good uses, and they show what good uses that's going to.
Yeah, that would be the thing.
The hell out of it, but people are good with what the dividends coming off of it, helping out their state.
Yeah, I mean, the legalization of marijuana is a bit. It should be a big thing everywhere, because it is big state revenue, and I'm also okay with vaping getting taxed. Like it's going to happen at some point. I hope it's, one, I want it to be reasonable, and two, I want transparency on where that money is going. Like I want to know where this money is headed. Like, don't tell me it's going to fucking education, and then you're using it for some sort of backwards ass program within the oh, what am I trying to think of? It's always a big deal here in Washington. Oh, what are they called? Oh man, it's the mentally unstable homeless people. There's a big problem with them here in this state because they have no earthly idea how to deal with them, and it's the same thing everywhere. Yep. You know, it's impossible to get these folks the help that they want, and so they're always coming up with these new programs that never have a chance in fucking hell of working, because you're never going to be able to get them to comply. But we dump millions and millions and millions of dollars into these programs that are going to help one or two people at the most. And you know, I'm all for help. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for helping these folks. They need help, but the help that they're, you know, the direction that they take it in here in Washington is always completely wrong. It's always a backwards fucking thing here in this state. So
it's hard to get any help if you don't have an address.
That's true. That's true. And I mean, they've tried several things, like in downtown Seattle, if you pull off on the wrong exit, you're going to drive past the tent city that they have set up for them. And I guess technically they have an address because they can say I live in this area.
What they need to do though is
supposed to help them, and it doesn't. That does not help them.
They need to give the tent city a zip code, and then they would actually have an address. And as soon as they got a zip code for the tent city, then they would be eligible for federal assistance because they would have a place.
I was going to say, well, the thing about this is about tent city or something like this, Gizzard Stew, is that you're putting all these people together in this big fenced off area. And they don't have a lot of room for each of their own places, and they're going to step all over each other. And next thing you know, you've got violence and all sorts of things down there, and you've got an area that the police won't even go into just because the risk is so high. And so you've taken the problem from here and moved it to over here. But it's the exact same fucking problem you had in the first place.
Yeah, it is a huge problem, though, that they don't have physical addresses because there's no way to document them and to Because
they don't want to be. They don't want to be documented.
Correct. But the thing is it makes it very difficult for any sort of assistance to reach them even. Yeah.
I mean, they have programs that supposedly go into the area. Generally, what they do is they kind of set up on the edge of the area. Very few people actually go into that thing. It's just one of those. It's one of those things where the situation was not improved at all by the millions of dollars that they dumped into this area. And like I said, you moved it from here to over here. So you moved it from right under the interstate to right next to the interstate. And it's one of those things. It's one of those things. It's a backwards program I don't agree with. I don't want my tax dollars going to that. I want a program that's actually going to help people. Mm. And right now there's no feasible way for them to do it with everything that they have. So,
it's kind of like in Iowa. I caught wind that it's happening in Minnesota too, so Giz may know about this. But since like the mental health institutions in some of these rural communities that aren't being used as much as they are being state funded, since they don't see the percentage being great enough to be used, they're shutting some of these mental institutions down. So people have to even go further for help if they need it for like addiction issues or actual mental health issues, treatments, group therapy, stuff like that. They'd have to travel 50 miles to the nearest place that will support them. And it's all because of budget cuts. And, it all rolls back to what we do with our taxes. If they're going to tax things and use it for good purposes, then I'm all for taxes.
I know they just allocated $2 billion at urban housing at federal level, $2 billion, but let's see what they do with it.
Well, see, that's the thing what I was trying to get at, the housing and urban development. They can't take any of that money and get it to the homeless people because the homeless people don't have addresses.
No, so they have to. The theory behind that is they're going to build like tiny homes.
Yeah, well, that would be good.
And
but
give them a stable place to stay.
Right.
Unfortunately, the unfortunate, we saw this happen. I think it was California that did this. No, it wasn't California. It was a different state that did it. I forget, but they did this. They put all this money into this program to build these people actual like physical homes, and then the money ran out, and so they proceeded to kick everybody out of these tiny homes and sell everything off. So that's once again, there's a good idea there. There's a good idea on what you could do. Instead, you take shortcuts and the money gets allocated into all these different places where it was never supposed to go in the first place. And the people that actually needed the help don't get any of the help. They wind up being worse off than they were.
Yeah, here's a glimmer of hope. Let me take it away.
Exactly. And Daytime Frank said that Missouri now has the lowest tobacco tax in the country. And that's compared to the southern state, like the true southern states. Missouri might think it's southern. It's not a southern state. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's, you can see where things are going if you take a closer glance at that picture.
Well,
Trust me.
getting
Trust me.
back to what I think we kind of skewed off of what I was trying to get at was the fact that we've always wanted separation of tobacco products from vaping products. And so to me, it seemed like the language was going in that direction. And it seemed like in some small way it could be a win because that's what we've always wanted. You know, these are not cigarettes. These are not a tobacco product, especially if you don't have any nicotine in them, which a lot of us don't use nicotine anymore.
Yep.
So for any place, I mean, I know that the UK has separation. I mean, they've separated the vaping from tobacco products.
So the Canadians, eh?
And the Canadians. So that would be a good. I mean, I was hoping the thing that happened in Missouri was a step in the right direction as far as setting a precedent where you could at least point at one state and go, well, they get it, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not quite what everybody.
Right.
Not quite. It's not quite as hopeful of a situation as we would like. Like I said, I think if I remember correctly, Missouri does have a pretty good advocacy group down there, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if it does wind up happening, they need to get active, just like everybody needs to get active in their communities. I mean, federally, we're hearing flavor ban, and I think we all talked about that even when Dr. Gottlieb's initial speech came out. Is that it sounded suspiciously like a flavor ban would be on the way. But even right now, I mean, all that's what 5-10 years down the road. That's, you know, this is forever down the road in vape time. It's what's happening locally to folks that you have to keep an eye on. You have to look and see what's going on in your state and find out what's going on, and you know what Governor Inslee's up to today. Fuck that guy.
You don't want your state to end up like Thailand.
There you go.
You know why? Because that would be
Horse shit.
I agree, Grim Green.
We should have tried to get the Eagle on with Jen.
We should do that at some point.
Life, when's the next time you're not going to be able to do a show?
Oh, when you want me to take a night off?
Do it next week. I'll be gone.
Yeah, we'll just have Grim Green and Jennifer Berger Coleman actually host and do SPORKLyFE.
Yeah, next week.
Neither of you two show up.
Yeah, why I'm fishing.
Life shows up long enough to push the stream, and then he's out. Fuck this. Fuck
just
these.
hiding my camera.
Exactly.
Turn your camera off so it's just them.
Go, guys. You got an hour.
It'd probably be the biggest hit of a show that we've ever had.
Nice, Storm. Storm, there's a convention. What's up, Mike?
Mikey.
I guess the secret's out on who my super secret special guest is going to be live on Freaky Fresh Day tonight. That will be the one and only iconic Michael Vapes.
Nice.
Sweet.
I called him by his full name because I want him to know how much I respect him.
That will be coming up soon in about a half an hour.
Indeed.
All right.
I'm pretty much addicted to this macadamia nut, I tell you.
I really like the macadamia nut.
I haven't had the pleasure of trying that one yet.
Oh, it's a good one, Gizzard.
Sweet.
Does anybody get anything new this week?
I got an atomizer.
Oh, that's the Death Wish.
Correct. Got a nice Mokhtar single coil in there.
Nice. Fresh got his Dremel attachments.
Yeah.
Those are not going to fit a Dremel, Addy Tooney. I'll tell you that much right now.
What RPM are those supposed to be good for?
It's supposed to be good up to the 35,000.
The bit
That's
won't fit inside the Dremel.
This one. But yeah, the bit, there's no way the bit's going to fit, and it's too.
That's
it's
like
too,
What is
it's
it, an
too,
1/8 inch? Quarter inch.
that's a quarter. And the biggest the Dremel is going to fit is what, a 3/16. So that's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Nope.
So it's not perfectly straight. And if you were going to use this on a Dremel, like there's no way. There's no way. So
what do you mean it's not perfectly straight?
We're going to try it with the highest speed drill that I've got. We'll find out what the fuck this thing can do.
Maybe you could run it in a Fordham. You know what a Fordham is?
What was that, Gizzard Stew?
Maybe you could run it in a Fordham. Do you know what a Fordham is?
No. What's a Fordham, Gizzard
A Fordham is like a Dremel with a foot pedal on it. It's like an industrial Dremel.
maybe those are 1/4 inch. You can get a 1/4 inch shaft for that.
Yeah. They use them for carving. I have one.
That's scary.
Oh, we're mixing now, baby. Go, gadget.
Be careful with that thing.
I'd use a silicone beaker to mix that in, just in case.
He has the stainless steel one.
I've got stainless steel.
All right. Anything besides glass?
You might want to wear gloves.
No, these are 3D printed e-liquid mixers.
Ah.
And they were someone's asking what these were, and these were supposed to fit a Dremel, and without an adapter, these are never going to fit a Dremel.
And what you're saying is the shaft is not even straight.
The shaft on the metal one here is not perfectly straight.
Well, how is that supposed to be good?
Exactly, Gizzard.
I would send it back
for something that's 35. It didn't cost that much, so I'm not worried about it. I'll just use it on the drill. But
it's good for the little wobble action that you need.
True.
That way you don't have to move it. You just put it in, and it spins, and it wobbles at the same time. It gets all the areas.
So,
sewing machine with a foot feet would be a good idea.
I'll probably be doing that tomorrow on the Super Mega Show that we have going on.
Neat.
I'll take the bits. I'll take the bits to the liquid, and we'll
Bring
see what happens. I'll get my gloves out, put my eyeglasses on.
I want to make these into an e-liquid.
Greek yogurt craisins.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Those are tasty little buggers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They're good, but they got way too many carbs.
They're loaded with sugar too. Man.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, this thing. There's no way this thing would survive a Dremel. No way.
That
I
top
can't
would
take
come
a
right
lot of
off.
liability at 35,000 RPM. That thing would blast right apart.
So, little disappointed, but I'm still excited at the prospect.
Plus, that would just push the e-liquid right out of the beaker. It would just be flying everywhere. Gizzard Stew's having a meat raffle?
Yeah, it's coming up. The meat raffle is in 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because we'll be off the air in 2 minutes.
Oh, all right.
Man, that hour went pretty fast.
It did.
It was.
That was a quick show. I like it.
It took us 10 minutes to get the show running. And then...
At least it didn't take us 45 minutes to get the show running.
That's true. At least we were streaming tonight.
Yeah.
I'm making incremental steps. Yes.
There you go.
Pretty soon I'll be a professional streamer. Someday. Maybe. Well, I want to thank everybody out there that showed up to watch the show. I want to thank the panelists. Jen, if you're rewatching, thank you for coming on. I was hoping that Stefan was going to be able to come on too, but he was on some sort of conference call, so he will come back another night. I want to thank Fresh, Addie, LIFA. Thank you guys. And everybody tune in to Fresh's show in about a half an hour.
Yeah.
And LIFA, cue the music.
Oh, I'm going to cue that music.
That crazy Gizzard tune?
Yeah, where is it? Oh, there it is.
Bye, everybody.
Get off your butts and vape. 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 Get off.